If you're struggling with trying to get to sleep, I get it. I used to toss and turn all night. Okay, no, not really. I was watching TV too. And now I sleep like a baby. But first I had to learn how to sleep, which got me my energy back, made me thinner and younger. I'm Jill Ritchie. I'm a longevity expert with a research team. Our mission is to help 10,000 women reclaim their health and get their mojo back. I struggled with sleep for most of my adult life. I got to the point where I dreaded going to bed. The thought of tossing and turning all night, lying awake, actually made me anxious. So I would just roll Netflix until I passed out and never really went to bed. I didn't have a routine because I didn't know where to start. After a year of research, my team and I found proven ways to get deep, restorative sleep. Now I wake up refreshed, energized, and excited for the day. My sleep score on my Oura Ring is consistently in the 90s. But what matters more is how amazing I feel when I jump out of bed in the morning. When you think bounce out of bed, that's me. Here's my number one most important sleep tip for energy and longevity. Treat it like a new skill. I'm not even going to bore you with all the new ways sleep is important. I feel like we've heard it a lot. I'm just going to say a few things to put a fine point on it. We get our energy from sleeping. When you're sleeping, your brain can go into offline and into cleaning mode, like putting your car in neutral for a drive-through car wash. And FYI, not getting enough sleep is linked to obesity, high blood pressure, and Alzheimer's disease. I thought sleep was like breathing. You just do it or wait until it happens to you. Then as I got older, I heard less sleep was normal and just a part of aging. And I remember when I was younger, older people would tell me, just wait until you're my age and you'll never sleep. I've heard this a million times. Have you? I used to wake up at 3 a.m. Like, huh? With the TV and the lights still on. Sound familiar? Oh yeah, and a jar of peanut butter with a spoon on my dresser beside the table. When I got back in bed, I would rewind my show to the part I missed while sleeping and let it roll again until I passed out. I thought I was one of those people that didn't need a lot of sleep because I was getting by on like 5.5 hours. I was used to it and I forgot what it felt like to wake up with energy. So now I knew I had to make a big curl sleep plan. So I scrapped all my old behaviors, which were 100% non-plans. My next sleeping tip for energy and longevity is making a sleep cave. This is a one-time setup of your bedroom that pays off big time for amazing sleep. This means making your bedroom as dark and quiet as possible with a cool temperature, just like a cave. I like to open my bedroom windows in the evenings, then close them before bed to air out my room and cool it down. I have blackout shades that 100% block out the light. I used to leave them open because I did not know that even moonlight can disrupt our sleep pattern. Here's what I learned. Any light, except for red light, disrupts your sleep. I even went around and put black electrical tape on little glowing things in my room, like my power strip. It sounds like a small change, but trust me, it makes a big difference. I also found a pair of really comfortable blackout eye shades for when I travel. It took me a minute to get used to them, but now it totally works and I love them. I also have an air purifier in my room, which really helps me sleep. I didn't realize how stuffy my room would get at night until I got it. It's literally a breath of fresh air, especially since I sleep with my windows closed. Next, I started working on noises because I live in a big city where there's a lot of outside noises, which can wake me up. I never really noticed it until I started paying attention. I tried earplugs, all different kinds, and ultimately I ended up with a white noise machine. I close my door at night so my kids don't wake me up in the morning before I'm ready. My room tends to get hot at night with the window closed, so I got an 8-bed, which is a smart mattress topper that changes temperature based on my sleep cycle and even measures my heart rate, gives me a sleep score, and has an alarm. It's super cool. You can get $350 off with my link in the description below if you want one just like mine. My phone used to wake me up all the time. I was tempted to pick it up and read the news. So I keep it in another room, charging and on Do Not Disturb, which can be bypassed by family members in case of emergency. And they all know my cutoff time is 10 p.m. That way I don't have to worry about missing an important call. But everyone else can reach me when I wake up. I put a link to a video showing how to do it in the description below. Weirdly, I love to check the time when I wake up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. My clock has a red light, but if watching clocks keeps you up at night or makes you feel worried about your sleep, then I I'd take it out of your room. Try it for like a week and see how it goes. Personally, I don't use an alarm clock anymore. I let my body wake up naturally, and it's almost always the same time every morning. Every now and then, I sleep in, and now I know I need every minute. I made a cave checklist for you to download below this video. Use it. It's a one-time setup for lasting restorative sleep. My next sleep tip for energy and longevity is my daytime, nighttime routine. What I didn't realize before is that setting myself up for a good night's sleep starts the minute I wake up. First, I get some morning sunlight or bright light as soon as possible after waking up to set my circadian rhythm. I like to look out an open window for a few minutes, or you can do this. You can turn on the lights or open your shades, but also I have a daylight bright light in my office. It's called a SAD lamp, but it makes me happy. SAD stands for seasonal affective disorder. But even though I don't have it, the lamp still really helps me sleep because it's the bright light is a signal for my brain to be in awake mode. Another non-negotiable daytime activity for me that sets me up and guarantees my sleep is getting a minimum of 10,000 steps a day or a workout. No activity for me means a huge sleep hit. Next, I had to learn to eat enough during the day. Some of my private clients were waking up hungry, and a lot of them were night eaters. Now, I coach my clients on eating more during the day so they can make it through the night. It seems really counterintuitive because everyone's always trying to eat less. But if you don't have the nutrients you need, you're gonna raid the fridge in the wee hours of the night. Sometimes I have a banana at night right before bed. It really helps me sleep. I didn't know that complex carbohydrates like bananas stimulate serotonin release in the brain. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that calms you down. So foods like potatoes, pasta, or rice before dinner are good for sleep. You might have heard you should eat high protein foods, especially those rich in tryptophan like turkey, before bed. It turns out high protein foods block our brain's serotonin production. Here's how it works. Tryptophan is an amino acid that gets turned into serotonin, so it does help us sleep. But high protein foods have lots of amino acids, not just tryptophan. So the tryptophan basically gets crowded out by these amino acids, and the net effect is that high protein foods will make you feel more awake. Who knew? Personally, I've never had a problem eating foods like beans and lentils before bed. But if you're looking for an extra edge to your sleep, try swapping beans for bananas before bed. It might work for you. So a late night banana works for me, but I don't recommend a large meal right before bed. This can cause indigestion, which is definitely bad for sleep. In general, the best foods for sleep are high in fiber and low in saturated fat, according to a study in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine, and it's the overall consensus in the literature. Oh, okay. To state the obvious, drinking too many fluids in the evening can cause you to wake up more through the night. I used to not drink enough water during the day and then get really thirsty before bed and drink a whole bottle. Now that I drink more water during the day, especially right after I wake up, I can drink less in the evening and I sleep a lot better. Try this. But if you wake up once or twice to go to the bathroom, it's totally normal. Don't lose sleep over it. It's fine. Also, it's recommended not to exercise more than 3 hours before bed. Some of my friends have no problem with late night workouts, so this is something you might try experimenting with. I also have a caffeine cutoff every day, including chocolate. Mine is 1 p.m., but depending on how sensitive you are, it could be a lot earlier. A lot of my private clients didn't know that their afternoon cup of tea had caffeine. Think green tea, jasmine tea, black tea, or an entire chocolate bar. Of course, if this works for you, go ahead. Most of us can't have caffeine too close to bedtime. How do I know? Studies show even when we don't notice a change in sleep, caffeine still worsens our sleep quality. Now that I track my sleep with an Oura Ring, I can see that my cutoff time works for me, since it shows me exactly how much deep sleep I'm getting and for how long. And here's a big change I made that really helped me a lot. I quit the nightcap. I used to have a glass of wine before bed, and I 100% believed it was helping me get to sleep. And it was. I just couldn't stay asleep. Why? Alcohol is a sedative, but sedation is not the same as sleep. The sleep I used to get from wine was more like being under anesthesia, and my brainwaves were different compared to natural sleep. Alcohol was also making me wake up throughout the night, but I never really knew it because I didn't remember waking up. Alcohol is one of the world's strongest suppressors of rapid eye movement, or REM sleep. It's metabolized into aldehydes, which block REM sleep and brainwaves. This effect happens even with moderate alcohol in the afternoon. So keep an eye on the day drinking. REM sleep, which is also when we dream, comes in 90-minute waves. And it's a time when your brain consolidates memories, processes emotions, and repairs itself. You need REM sleep to organize store your new information and to wake up feeling refreshed. Unless you have a drink in the morning, any alcohol in the afternoon or the evening will affect your sleep. How much you drink is up to you, but I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't tell you the truth about nightcaps. So now let's talk about napping. I usually don't need a nap unless I had a terrible night's sleep the night before. But now I know that napping can help me get back into my sleep routine. Despite the common belief that naps are terrible for sleep, just don't nap after 3 p.m. and keep it short, below 20 minutes. So it's a short cat nap. At this point, you might have extra questions about my exact sleep protocol, including my bedtime routine. Don't worry, I've put it all together. All my sleep tips into a free guide and a checklist that you can download in the description box below this video. My next sleep tip for energy and longevity is my bedtime routine. Now that we've covered my daytime routine, here's my bedtime routine. First, I always take a hot shower before bed. When we warm up, our bodies compensate by cooling down. And when our bodies cool down in the evening, it recreates the natural cooling from the sunset that we evolved with and makes us sleepy. It doesn't have to be a shower. A meta-analysis found even warm socks or just 10 minutes before bed can help people fall asleep faster. After my shower, I switch my room to all red lights, so my melatonin production kicks in. I also have a blue light blocking glasses for when I travel. I also have a blue light filter on my phone and laptop. It's like a natural melatonin supplement. Then I make sure to unwind before bed each night. Most nights, I watch sitcoms with my daughter. I think most sleep gurus would probably be against a TV before bed, but for me, it's fun and relaxing. I also love to read at night, and I use a clip-on red light. Thanks, Amazon. It totally puts me to sleep. I personally need 30 minutes to an hour to really slow down before bed. I don't start any projects late in the day. Pro tip, I think I need to think about tomorrow. I just write it down and move on. When I wake up at night, I try not to panic because I know it's natural. I usually just let it pass without obsessing over it, like I used to. If I really can't sleep, I'll get out of bed and read in another room until I feel tired. This totally works. My next sleep tip for energy and longevity is check your meds. My research team found that some common heart, blood pressure, and asthma prescriptions can interfere with sleep, as well as over-the-counter and herbal medicines for coughs, colds, and allergies. You might want to talk to your doctor or pharmacist to see if any of your medications can be taken earlier during the day. And by the way, I don't take melatonin. Let me know if you want a whole video on that. I don't recommend taking it, at least before you really dial in your sleep plans. My next sleep tip for energy and longevity is if you did everything else and you still can't get to sleep, here are some things you can try. Apps like Calm, like the one where they tell you a bedtime story. I had Matthew McConaughey read me a bedtime story and it was fun and totally worked. All of the sleep apps on YouTube and videos are great. Just pick one and don't overthink it. Try a weighted blanket. Personally, I don't like them. I feel like I'm being held down, but they work great, and I have so many friends that would attribute their good night's sleep to a weighted blanket. Splurge on pillows, your mattress, sheets, etc. Make a designer cave because you deserve it. Try a magnesium supplement. There's a relationship between magnesium deficiency and sleep problems, so make sure you're getting enough from foods like spinach, black beans, quinoa, and more, or a supplement. I'll put a link to a third-party tested magnesium below. Personally, I have a sleep stack, which is in the free cheat sheet below. Now that you know how to sleep for better energy and longevity, this alone won't reverse your aging. You still need to know what's stopping you from getting that youthful glow. But how do I do that? It starts with watching mistakes that sped up my aging, because when you know what to avoid, nothing can get in the way of your longevity. See you in the next video, because your health is the ultimate luxury.